And there we are. Everything is alrighty. And who is first as usual? Ahoy, ouch my junk. Welcome to today's show, Taggin, the Angry Game News here on Switzerland.playit. And my name is Ike, and we're gonna just check out what happened the last 24-hour-ish period in games hardware, and TV shows, and a little bit pop culture, movie stuff, and see if there's something interesting out there. I take my time for stuff like that every day, 2 to 3 hours, depending on what is there, reading a lot of articles, dismissing a few, and taking hopefully the best out of it. And yes, let's go into it right away. Don't waste time, right? Because every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern here on this channel, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Kick, even on Locals, but on Locals I can stream only for half an hour because I'm not paying them on Locals to stream 2 hours to nobody, right? Up to 2 hours or 3 hours, something like that. And also on Rumble, of course, my main platform, every day 10 a.m. And we got news. We got enough news, hopefully, to fill this 1 hour. I try to keep it on 1 hour. First news might be good for some people who get maybe a cheap Switch 2, and maybe not so good news because you're might be excluded from the network. Over 2,800 Nintendo Switch consoles stolen from delivery truck. In a new report from 9 News, the outlet released the news that over 2,800 Nintendo Switch consoles were recently stolen off a delivery truck. A semi-truck driver who heading to deliver a destination noticed during a pre-trip inspection that his trailer had been broken into. 2,810 consoles were stolen in total, and it seems that they were all of the Mario Kart World Bundle variety. That means the total loss of the stolen goods would be over 1.4 million US dollars. Well, that hardware is so locked down, why even buy it? Yeah, I mean, the hardware is worth that amount. Ahoy Godzilla, Ahoy Eden is worth that amount, but I am fucking pretty sure Nintendo knows of those MAC addresses of each console very well. And they're gonna lock that all those things out of the system. And they might even come after you because who knows? It's Nintendo. You don't know. You don't know. The Nintendo Switch 2 units were intended to be delivered at a GameStop store in Grapevine, Texas. Systems were originally received from Nintendo of America in Redmond, Washington. The theft was reported at about 8 a.m. on June 8, and the Love's truck stop at 1191 South First Street in Bennett, Colorado. The driver says he did not know what was in the trailer other than the fact that it was games or toys. We'll let you know if we hear anything else about the situation. In the meantime, check out our other Nintendo Switch 2 news. Here, blah, blah, blah. I have a wild theory here. I think the truck driver knew what was in there. I think he had a list of what he is really delivering, especially with that worth of hardware. I think you know more than just, yeah, maybe games, toys. I don't know really. I think you know what you're delivering. Not especially which bundle of games, but I'm pretty sure you knew you were transporting Switch 2, and you might have alluded to your friends. I don't know. Maybe you told in an SMS, in a message to somebody, oh, holy shit, I'm delivering like this and that amount of consoles and packages to this and that store. And yeah, I'm not trusting this guy for some reason. Call me, whatever you want to call me, but It is a little bit suspicious. I think he knew what he was transporting. Stuff falls off the truck all the time. Yeah, but this time all that stuff is registered and everything goes more electronical and to every package, especially Nintendo themselves ship out, right? They knew the MAC addresses of all those packages, of all the contents. I'm telling you. Oops, I tripped and 500 switches disappeared into my pocket. Happens all the time, Mike. Yeah. I know. I worked in sales. It happened. I was even in sales the last year on one shop, pretty much just in the storage, in the magazine, filling up, ordering shipments and all that shit. I have to check the list. Is that in the package and all that? And sometimes stuff just vanishes or was never there and all that shit and falls off a truck, whatever. I don't care. I know that all happens, but yeah, it's a little bit suspicious, all this. The worth, he knew about the worth too. Just saying. I thought you had a black eye. No, it's reddish, especially because shampoo. Yeah, I don't have black eyes. Do I have black eyes? It's just a little bit less light today. I can push the light, but I don't want to. How about that? Shut up, Eden, you old woman. Why didn't I scroll up here? Good story. That was a good story. Wasn't that a good story? What are you talking about? Shut up. Again. Disney Plus removes sci-fi film because of controversial rat drowning scene. James Cameron's 1989 underwater sci-fi flick The Abyss, good movie, featured a scene in which a panicking rat was plunged into oxygen-rich liquid. It was a sequence that proved so controversial that at the time that the United Kingdom's film board ordered it removed. 36 years later, after a remaster of the United versions appeared on Disney Plus in the UK, it's been pulled once again. Before Terminator 2, Titanic, and Avatar, and many Avatar sequels, Cameron brought us The Abyss, a very expensive underwater action adventure film starring Ed Harris. The movie was a bit of a flop at the time, but has since gone on to become a classic among Cameron fans and sci-fi nerds. I always liked it from the very first moment. And at one point in the film, a rat is placed in a small tub of breathing fluorocarbon liquid. At first, the rat struggles and panics because it thinks it's drowning, but eventually it calms and starts breathing the liquid, which contains oxygen. 5 rats were used and they all lived. However, many found the scene disturbing, and in the UK, this scene was banned and removed from all versions of The Abyss, at the request of the RSPCA. But this scene was later included in the Disney Plus version of the movie, which was added to the service in April. Here's the scene. You can go. The links are, by the way, always as usual down below to go check it out for yourself. And you see just a rat in this tank, and it seems to be doing fine. And I heard, and I never verified that, but this liquid oxygen stuff actually exists. I just heard that you really can breathe that in. For how long, that's a different question. And you will not drown right away. In the movie, it's done because to get the pressure off your body and your lungs with a different liquid, so you can go all the way down to the abyss. On June 17, Games Radar and other outlets reported that The Abyss had been removed from Disney Plus after the RSPCA called out the media giant for including the scene and taking advantage of a loophole that allows streamers to ignore some local film and TV regulations. This isn't about cancel culture. We'd welcome Disney Plus reinstating the film to their platform just with this troubling scene removed, as is already the case in cinemas, on TV, and on DVD. The RSPCA's head of public affairs said in a statement. Blah, blah, blah. I find it just interesting that they spotted that, and it was probably a big talking point when the movie was released, and they didn't want that scene included. I don't know why you would exclude that in today's time. If the regulations changed over the decades, fine. You don't do that in movies anymore. You don't produce movies in that regard anymore. But it was done. It was okay back then for many, not for all, of course. And it's considered animal abuse today. I see absolutely the talking points here, but it is already shot. It is already done. It is over, right? And you can just show it today. And when they tell us no rats died of it, I guess everything is all right. I don't advocate to do that to rats all the time, by the way, but it's part of the movie. It's part of the movie, right? Drown rats, I can't breathe. Yeah, memory hold. I like the marina that goes nuts. I wonder if Democrats can breathe underwater. With that liquid, maybe. But for how long? That's the question, as I said. How are you doing on this Wednesday, everybody? Is everything all right at your ends? Because I feel not super all right with some weird ass news. Some wannabe news. Microsoft teases multiple gaming devices and next-gen Xbox as it double down on Windows. Yeah, not really. What is an Xbox? The answer to that has never been more confusing. But a new promo video from Microsoft teasing the future of its next-gen gaming hardware lineup gives an important clue: Windows. The company said it wants the OS to be number one platform for gaming as it doubles down on new multi-platform strategy that supports a variety of devices rather than being locked to a single console or storefront. So that's a very important half phrase we have here, this sentence. They want to support a variety of devices rather than being locked on a single console or storefront. That means the first part they're talking about, they are supporting hardware and their next gen console is not their next gen console. They published half a year, that's now over half a year or so, a little trailer, a little advertisement that everything is an Xbox. Everything is an Xbox. And many people mock that, and rightfully so, in my opinion, that everything can be an Xbox. That means nothing is an Xbox anymore, really. And once more, they show where the way goes. They are not producing hardware of their own in the future anymore. They're going to outsource that pretty much in that sense. They're just going to leave that in the hands of Asus for now, with the first handheld, the LIX, the ROG LIX. And they're just going to give requirements, more like an overall requirement. And they're going to adjust the Xbox app for Windows to be more playable on all kinds of devices. So it's confusing how they phrase their stuff because they have no hardware of their own. What they are telling us, though, they are working closer together with AMD, supposedly, that they are producing new chips and APUs that go better along with their Windows 11 version, home in general, with the add-on of Xbox app. So that's their way to go for now. I'm thrilled to share we established a strategic multi-year partnership with AMD to co-engineer silicon across a portfolio of devices, including our next generation Xbox consoles in our living room and in your hands. Xbox President Sarah Bond said in a new video touting the partnership. Together with AMD, we are advancing the state of art in gaming silicon to deliver the next generation of graphics innovation to unlock a deeper level of visual quality and immersive gameplay and player experiences enhanced with the power of AI, all while maintaining compatibility with your existing library of Xbox games. And you see here in this little 1.5 minute, not even 1.5 minute, the president of Microsoft, this lady, which looks weird, just saying, just pointing that out, looks like the cheeks, just whatever. You know what I'm telling you. Tells us about the partnership of AMD and all that. You go read the article for yourself. It's just little pieces of information that they're going to move away from producing hardware by themselves. Ahoy, John Thunder. Ahoy, Nutty. Doing good, working with DuckStation for the first PS1 game. You're doing too much like hardware. Nobody cares too much as long as the quality looks good. John Thunder, don't worry about too much of that. Fuck your mods. Fuck Nexus mod. Watch the episode of yesterday. When do the XXX box come out? We have a lot of XXX boxes. It's called your PC. Pornhub.com. There, your XXX box. Right in front of you. Even on your smartphone. Everything is an XXX box. Godzilla. CD Projekt Red said it's going to be hard to make Witcher 4 run on Xbox S. Yeah, well, the S is like a smaller version, just less powerful. But it's gonna run well at the end because they are doing console first. I reported that, by the way. When was that? On Monday? Last Friday, something like that. About they are trying the route of console first and then upscaling. So it's gonna run fine at the end, I'm sure, because they're using PS5 material to show off, not PS5 Pro, so which is very comparable to the Xbox S. Just saying. But yeah, there you go. Microsoft telling you they are working hard on hardware, but we are not going to produce it. Liars. Why they do all lie? Who knows? Again, such a buzzword. Yes and no. The AI stuff and AMD's new CPUs, they are having just new compute units in the APUs, in the newer APUs. They are dedicated to AI tasks, meaning you can program your software to utilize those little pieces of the chiplet there, you know. But yeah, overall AI this, AI that, whatever. Licks bean. Find me another site to get my mods and I will use it. Go ask Grok. I don't know what to tell you. I reported too. GOG hopefully getting bigger in that department. Mods. Speaking of not getting bigger, but getting smaller, I'm sure of that. Marathon delayed to an unannounced date. Bungie has delayed Marathon from its previously planned September 23 release date to an unannounced date. A new release date will be announced this fall. It will be available for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC via Steam when it launches. I'm not going to go too deep into this one. That's just the main gist of it. Marathon was in the news quite a few times now, especially because it looks actually super bland, super meh. It's another shooter, extraction, wannabe Tarkov, Call of Duty, whatever. I don't care at all. It looks even less appealing to me, this one. But they made big news about stealing stuff. An artist made like an asset of futuristic graphics in about 2017, and this artist actually found her assets in this game when they showed off the first game trailers and all that, the first game play stuff. And she was like, "Why are you stealing from me? Why you are not even crediting me? Why didn't you wrote me at all? But just take it and then use it without paying me anything." So she said, "I don't have the resources nor the energy to spare to pursue this legally," she says. "But I have lost count of the number of times a major company has deemed it is easier to pay a designer to imitate or steal my work than to write me an email." So yeah, they didn't even bother to write her an email. They thought like, yeah, if something comes up, I can pay it later, whatever, right? In 10 years, I have never made consistent income from this work, and I am tired of designers who, from huge companies, move boarding and parasiting my designs while I struggle to make a living. So we have here an artist who, self-made artist, does just her work, publishes on certain websites, and shows it off. And big companies like Bungie just think like they can get away very easily and steal it, include it in their work, and not even paying attention to give the original artwork designer any credit at all. That's scummy. Bungie was called out the whole time. Anytime they do a stream of any kind with Marathon, the chat is filled with um, with plagiarism, stealing shit, and all that stuff. The whole chat is just exploding every time they do something on Twitch or YouTube, which is funny to see and shows that it's not critique at the game. By the way, the game looks for me shit. I am zero wanting to play stuff like that. You know, you're just giving me bling bling colors, bright colors here, and running around, and it's just shooter, blend shooter, 25x, whatever. I don't care for this one. And Bungie pretends now they care for your feedback and all that, and what they are working now because of the feedback. And it has absolutely nothing to do that they have to do all kinds of work, redo all kinds of work visually, because they included this asset of that artist very deeply into their game. So fuck Bungie, I don't care for them anymore. They had their time. Halo, great fucking game still. If you own like the Master Chief Edition, you can still play it on PC to this day. Even you on the Rumble, you have like people gathering once a month at least to play some Halo, uh, original Halo. It's fun. But yeah, they're over. Fuck off. I don't care. Bye bye. What we also don't care, at least I don't. Again, Borderlands. I got Borderlands into my reports a few times now already. They're making another headline, and it's again not a very good one, by the way. But to that in a second. Otherwise, I will keep using Nexus. I don't support them. They don't get my dollar, but I can send a donation to a modder directly if I want without Nexus. Yeah, that's a good method for sure. But I talked about what they did to Mother and what they still do to mothers to this day. They changed like ownership. Go watch news yesterday. Yeah, Nexus sucks. They removed a mod that makes Angerboda white again. They, yeah, there you go. They call it probably hate speech against black people and shit like that. Lazy fucks just make unique new IP for whatever race. Don't steal. A Marathon is actually not new, the IP itself, right? That they are doing pretty much a remake because it was originally, I think, released on Mac of all the platforms in 1993 or some very old, very old. Marathon is actually very old. It is like a sci-fi Doom clone, pretty much. Yeah, they said it was a creative decision. My ass. Lack of creativity. Hell with this game. Talk about Final Fantasy Tactics. I watched the news about that, but I am also not very fond of Square Enix. Square Enix coming out in the middle of the month about the Pride Month. I didn't want to include that at all. Fuck Square Enix too. Fuck all of them. Just it's harsh, man. These days, it's hard to get along with some games companies. Forget the 100 and 130 deluxe editions. Borderlands 4 has a pretty rad collector's edition that doesn't include the game for a low price of $150. Yeah, you heard that right. They have a collector's edition for $150 and you don't even get the base game. And not even the DLCs, for that matter. Borderlands 4 is going to have $70, $100, and $130 versions available, depending on how much DLC you want. But if you're really all into the Borderlands hype, Borderlands, where is the fucking Borderlands hype here? I don't see any Borderlands hype anywhere, but sure, if you say so. 2K is giving you the opportunity to drop $150 dues dollary dues on a big old collector's edition of the game that Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford thinks is pretty rad. Yeah, the same Randy Pitchford who said, like, if you're a real fan, you will fucking find ways to buy the game for more than it's worth. But asshole. And to sweeten the deal, you don't even get the game or DLCs with it. There you go. Are you hyped even more now? A collector's edition for $150 fucking dollars. And you don't get jack shit pretty much. Just, do we have pictures here? Yeah, at least we get like pictures, what's included, like physically. Oh, come on. So you get like a figurine here of some kind of robo, a map of Kairos, the new planet. Double-sided lithography art prints. How big are they? 20 centimeter by 25, 8 by 10. Not really big. And some DLCs, but the DLCs, let me try to zoom in here, if you can read it. The shift code must be redeemed by December 31st, 2030. So you don't even have like unlimited time. You have to redeem it till 2030. I know nobody cares for that, but it's just a shady fucking move. It's fucking scummy, actually. A scummy move, not even including the game. What prevented you to give the game into this collector's edition? What's going on in the head of anybody who thought like, yeah, let's make a collector's edition, but don't include the game because the hype is real. That's why I'm not a hype guy. I don't give a shit about hypes. I mean, sometimes I get hyped too because it's just human emotions boiling and wanting to get on the hype trains, right? But usually I'm not a really hype guy at all. And that's another reason why you never should get hyped, because they're going to use your emotions, your feelings for their profit. Always. They don't care. They just don't care for you, man. So there you go. Are you hyped? Borderlands is extremely woke now and super gay. I agree. $150? I couldn't get blown for that. What? I can blow you for free, I guess, Eden. I don't fucking know. Although you're an old woman, right? As usual. How about somebody you don't want to blow? Don't be hyped about that, asshole. Robert Downey Jr. throws his support behind Ironheart. Iron Man loves Ironheart. I'm not gonna read jack shit of that crap. It's gonna come out next week. The first 3 episodes on Disney Plus. If you have Disney Plus, go watch it. Don't go watch it. Who cares, right? But I want to show you how hyped they are about the Ironheart. How hyped Robert Downey Jr. is. Are you ready? I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but
Do you mind if we interrupt interrupt the interview for just a moment because I think we have a very special message. I think you're going to recognize who this is.
Good morning, America. The new studio. God, looks great. Miss Thorne, I couldn't be happier than to be seeing you bring Riri.
That was pointed out yesterday on Geeks and Gamers. Look at him. He's absolutely just reading a fucking silly script there. He couldn't care less. He just got a script. Do this head move to show your face a little bit later.
Williams
and read
life.
that shit.
But the hood has me nervous. Is the hood green? Please tell me Mr. Ramos is not replacing me as Dr.
He still
Dean
keeps reading, by the way.
Robbins.
He just went lower with his eyes.
Anyway, I don't want to step on your interview. Long story short, Iron is Ironheart.
And she does the I don't know, is that the hood iron at the hood? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, in the hood we love you.
You know, he has been so supportive. Like, it's...
Yeah, whatever. So supportive. Robert Downey Jr. so supportive. He didn't got like, here, a check, I don't know, $2,000. Read that script. We need some advertisement for the new, highly anticipated Ironheart. There you go. Read that, please. And he didn't even have like the balls or like the respect for it at all to learn that little script by heart, just to speak it when he looks into the camera. No, he reads that shit. Oh, that's so cringe. That's horrible. But there you go. And she also was pointed out by many, but yeah, I don't think she's a pretty girl. She's not a pretty woman for that role. If you would have at least eye candy, you know, for this show, that would be something, in my opinion. To give you just people some eye candy, like, yeah, the CGI is bad, the story is garbage, the music is annoying, but at least you would have something to look at, right? Not even that. They give you nothing in this show. Nothing. Iron Man. Walking Dead did it better. About what, Nutty? About the collector's edition stuff? Never loved that graphic novel stuff. Yeah, they included in Borderlands 4, like, still this cell shading, but high resolution, high texture, but low, I don't know even how to explain, low cell shading style, which is weird. It's just weird. At that point, just go full 3D polygons and forget about cell shading, pretending to do cell shading in the first place. He wants us to eat the box too. Robert Downey Jr. Bad man. I don't like him anymore. He was okay at the beginning of the Marvel stuff, you know, as Iron Man, but you have seen it. At one point, you just have seen all those stars, you know. Fuck off. Just fuck off. And he's becoming old. You see the age. How old is he? Like 60 plus, at least? Something like that. He is becoming old. You see in Oppenheimer how old he really can look if he wants to. Robert goes down on the Iron Woman for money. Nothing new. Yeah, I wonder how much money he got, though, or if he was obligated to a contract to do some advertisement for that. And he was like, okay, I guess I do, otherwise my contract is not going to be fulfilled, and I have to pay Disney and some shit. So, yeah, okay, just give me the script, but don't expect me to fucking being really, really happy about that crap. I'm going to pretend. That's what I'm doing. I'm an actor. I'm going to pretend. Did he pull it off, this thing? I don't think so. I don't think so, no. Hollywood keeps trying to raise up ugly people to replace the attractive actresses of the past, but they are all ugly. Zendaya is ugly. I agree. Many people find her cute. Not me. Rachel Zegler is ugly. This bitch is ugly. Yeah. Can't disagree with you. Now that I agreed with you, Godzilla, you owe me $1. No, don't. But yeah, they try to replace, not even replace, but instate new actresses and actors who look just why. You just see them and have the question, can't you give me at least something nice to look at? Zendaya, yeah, she is supposed to be the supermodel. Maybe. Not in my eyes. Zendaya way better than Fetal Alcohol Girl. Way better? At least Greta is real. At least Greta is real. Real retard, you know? He's pushing 16. Yeah, but it's like comparing McDonald's to Chick-fil-A. That's why is Godzilla so right today? He got it a lot of right today. Speaking of somebody who didn't got it right, but pretends to get it right all the time because he's a genius. I don't think so. I don't think so anymore. He's good. He can write stories for sure. He knows how to deliver good stories. But what he stated in here, I don't like. Thank you very much, Godzilla. Much appreciated. Here's $2. Love you long time. Time with why? Are you in the hood? Much appreciated, buddy. Hideo Kojima made significant changes to Death Stranding 2 because playtesters thought it was too good. Really? Death Stranding 2 on the beach, creator Hideo Kojima reportedly changed the game halfway through because playtesting results were too good. And he doesn't want his work to be mainstream. I'm gonna call him out right here. He is a fucking liar at this point. He's a liar that he said he doesn't want his stuff, his work to become mainstream. You know, you're gonna see how I call him a liar. The revelation comes from Johan Woodkid Lemoyne, who worked closely with Kojima on the upcoming game's soundtrack. Talking to the Rolling Stones, Lemoyne talked about his process, both with Kojima and without, and the challenges of writing music for a medium that's changing in real time as players progress through the game. And I love Death Stranding. The gameplay is fantastic. The soundtrack, very fitting. Mainly from a band called, I think it was Roar. Something like that. Good music, you know, good selection of music. Very fitting and all that. Very moody. Interestingly, he also reflected on Kojima opening up about the problem of having players like Death Stranding 2 too much. That means something is wrong, Kojima told him. We have to change something. How can that be? What and how do you define too good, and what is wrong with that? What was too good? Did they have too much fun? Was it too easy? What is considered too good? I would have loved to have some definitions here, you know, some kind of a road what good means and what is too good. There's a key moment where we had a discussion probably halfway through when we were doing the game, where he came to me and he said, "We have a problem," Woodkid explained. Then he said, "I'm going to be very honest. We have to be testing the game with the players and the results are too good. They like it too much. They like it too much." What is fucking wrong with liking something too much? Don't you want your work to be liked? There is not really to be liked too much. Is he afraid of fans? Or I don't just get it. I don't get it without further like definitions here, really. And he changed stuff in the script and the way some crucial stuff happens in the game because he thought his work was not polarizing and not triggering enough emotions. Why do you want to trigger more emotion? What's I don't. Yeah, it's a weird understanding by Kojima. But he seems to be snobbish, I'm going to tell you, because of mainstream. Keep that in mind, mainstream, right? According to Kojima, if everyone likes your work, it means it's mainstream. It means it's conventional. It means it's already pre-digested for people to like it. Oh yeah, that's horrible. You want the excitement of not knowing if somebody wants to hate it. What the fuck are you talking about? I don't want that, Kojima reportedly told Le Moyne. I want people to end up liking things they didn't like when they first encountered it, because that's where you really end up loving something. No, it can end up in just hating it entirely forever. I mean, that's the risk. Maybe that's what he wants, of course. I don't know what's going on in his head. But I just found it like snobbish, like wannabe super artistically, super high end, like next dimension artist level. Like, I'm gonna make it so bad and so outrageous for your mind that you're not gonna see what's happening here. Something, whatever, man, whatever. Woodkin added that was really a lesson for him, convincing him not doing stuff to please people, but to make them shift a little bit and move them. Which is nothing wrong about that, right? You can have some controversial stuff in it and make people think about what you're seeing, what you're feeling yourself and all that. That's fine, but he seems a little bit pretentious. Do you have still in mind mainstream, right? Not long to go now. Death Stranding 2 is out on June 26, 2025. Hideo Kojima is also working on a live-action Death Stranding film. I didn't know about that. I heard it pretty much hear this for the first time, actually, with A24. And we recently learned that Death Stranding anime is in the works too. So you're telling me, Kojima, you don't want to be mainstream, but let's make a movie and also give licenses out and my work into an anime, because it's not not mainstream, right? It's not mainstream if I do like a movie to it too and an anime. And of course, I'm gonna put out figurines and action figures and all kinds of toys and whatever and whatnot, right? But that's not mainstream. That's not conventional stuff. I'm so new, man, so new. That's why I think he lied to me in this article, and I don't appreciate being lied. Never. Gonna repeat that ever, forever. I hate liars, and in my eyes, you just prove to me you're a liar when you tell me you don't want to be mainstream, but also want a movie for your stuff, for the same stuff. It's not like a new thing, and also an anime too. So go fuck yourself for that lie, you snobbish little bitch. That's all I can say. And I still like all his games, by the way. I don't care how he is like behaving. His games are still good. They don't turn to shit just because his mentality is showing off and his behavior is showing off and his characters being presented more these days. Because he made it. He is an artist for sure. He's a good storyteller, absolutely. But pointing out that garbage and then giving me a movie and an anime to your not mainstream stuff. Yeah, sure, buddy. What a stupid thing to say. That what I read, or what do you mean? Got to go do my own stuff later. Okay, John, don't get too angry. The world is twisted. I'm getting angry at liars. That's fine. I can handle that anger. Let's keep the last phrase here. The reading. He's also working on a PlayStation exclusive action espionage project called Physant, and called the upcoming Xbox published OD game I have always wanted to make. There you go. You have new IPs. That's fine. But calling Death Stranding too good for players and you don't want it because it's gonna be mainstream, convenient, and then making a movie and an anime. You're full of it, man. You're full of it. Stop being fanboys for people like him. Enjoy the games. I'm gonna at one point I'm gonna play Death Stranding 2 also, but Not from the very beginning. I'm not going to buy a console for it. I'm going to wait till it's on sale on PCs at one point. George Soros has a Death Stranding bong with a fetus in it. What? What the fuck are you talking about? In it that he smokes all day to keep alive. What the fuck? What do you think about statements like this by Kojima? Telling us, yeah, I don't want to be mainstream, but I'm also making a movie and an anime. Do you feel lied to, guys? How do you feel about that? I feel I'm being lied to a lot. But that's life, I guess. Especially with artists who want to be. He has become mainstream. He either doesn't know or just keeps pretending. He's living in a crystal tower, probably. Warner Bros. Triples down on Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC in organizations restructure, putting Batman Arkham Origins and NetherRealm Studio heads in charge. So they're just doing some restructuring in the Warner Bros. Games world, and they want to publish better games because they had like Suicide Squad. What was the title? Let me just read it. It's a short article, actually. Warner Bros. Games has just announced it will reshuffle its organization around the Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and DC franchises. This news comes a month after Warner Bros. First quarter financial report revealed that the publisher's games revenue decreased 48%, or excluding foreign exchange. That's EXF means. The company also pinned its 66 dip in gaming expenses compared to the same quarter last year in impairment related to Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That was the game that I think 1 month or so later after release, they dropped the price from $60 to $5 in this $5 sales because it was so beloved. They needed to give it to everybody, right? And lower games revenue in the current quarter. Earlier this year, Warner Bros. Cancelled its Wonder Woman game and closed Shadow of Mordor studio Monolith after reportedly losing $200 million on Suicide Squad, and then another $100 million on the disappointing Multiverses and Quidditch Champions. That's a bummer in my opinion, because I liked the Shadow of Mordor games, both. I loved them. I played them multiple times through. I like the art style. I like how the game feels, how the game plays, and all that. And because another game sucked so badly, or multiple games sucked so badly, took so much money, they need to close a studio that did okay. It didn't do like amazing, but it did okay with those two Shadow of Mordor games. Stupid decision, in my opinion. Why not focusing on good stuff instead of closing it right away because of other unrelated shitty stuff, right? In a press release, Warner Bros. Says that Warner Bros. Games Montreal studio head Yves Lachance will now serve as senior vice president. As senior vice president of development and tend to teams involved in Harry Potter and Game of Thrones project. I don't know about that. All games I've seen so far, anything with Game of Thrones, super meh. Nothing exciting. More unexciting for me, at least. If it's good and people like it, eventually everything becomes mainstream. It's just natural progression. Yeah, that's very true. Then the people that liked it from the beginning hate it when it becomes popular. I don't know about that though. Ouch, my junk. Because I liked Metal Gear Solid 1 and I'm still liking it. And it became a lot of mainstream, right? Metal Gear Solid, this IP, big mainstream these days. And there are like games in this franchise which I find just gameplay wise from the very beginning lame, right? Like this online part, the Survive, Metal Gear Survived, or the online Metal Gear Solid Online of the Metal Gear Solid 4 was nothing for me, not at all. But that's from the very beginning, and the rest I liked from the beginning and still like them. I look, in my opinion, if a game is really, really good, you will not care what other people really think about it and too much, unless it's something very controversial. When you learn later on that makes the game like shitty because they could have done it not otherwise. The game, you know what I mean? Like torturing animals or some shit like that, and you see in a game maybe like a scene torture animals being tortured, and they took like sounds from torturing animals, or just that's just a stupid example, but I hope you understand what I mean. Then maybe a game I will not like, but I don't care if other people like it more now than they liked it before and never heard of it, you know. I never touched Pokemon, but here we go. Pokemon Go, that's why I'm covering it, because many people like that stuff. So, Pokemon Go dev says Saudi Arabia's ownership of the studio isn't changing much. So the creator of Pokemon now just got sold out, and now Saudi Arabia ownership has it in their hands, and they're telling us it's nothing going to change, which might be the case. Who knows? I think people who are skeptical will remain skeptical, Steranka said. The biggest thing that we can do is just prove over time that this actually is a great direction for the game to go. But I do think that I've definitely seen people have a little bit more optimism for the future. It's healthy skepticism, but optimistic regardless. So many people were skeptical that the Arabs pretty much got like now the game. But overall, it shouldn't change really, because it's still Nintendo's IP. If Nintendo is not happy how this will be executed or deformed, they're gonna put like an end to that and just take the license somehow away. Niantic sold, that's an old company, sold its game division to Scopely for 3.45 billion US dollars. And this was the number 8 most expensive video game acquisition in history. I just assumed this Scopely Arabic, Saudi Arabic company wants to make money. I don't see why they would acquire it and change according to their vision to not making money. In that regard, Saudi Arabian companies are very straightforward, right? If they see an IP that doesn't hurt them, like religiously wise, they're just gonna buy it and hope for more income in the future. That's all. But yes, hopefully you're not too upset, guys, with Pokemon Go, how it goes. Go to the polls. How about that? There's also a controlled aspect of what people are allowed to see to try to steer what is popular, and that isn't organic. Kind of like mainstream music is usually dog shit, in my opinion. Oh yeah, I mean manipulation. That's just regular manipulation. That happens all the time with any medium, right? You produce something. It doesn't matter if it's music, if it's a movie, if it's a show. You show it to a very selected people. They have to sign an NDA. You show them something, and see how they react, and manipulate like the show towards this audience again, and see how they like the second season or the next song and all that. Yeah, I mean that happens all the time. You can't avoid that because they want to make money usually, and they're gonna tune that as long as it's necessary to make you feel better with it overall. And also like they're testing out like edges, like limits, like how much of that shit can we put it in and see like we make everything else in that product appealing, super appealing. What we're gonna put in this garbage, and next time we're gonna put a little bit more of this garbage because you liked it previously already. So how can we give you more garbage over time? Like spoon fed little pieces of shit in your mouth. That's pretty much it. But that happens all the time probably since the beginning of medias like music on records and movies on film and all that, right? I don't think that's anything new. Just be more aware, maybe. Try to be more aware. You have the internet and your disposal. You can use it to research stuff, right? If something feels odd, try to research. But with the internet over the last 20 years, that has started to change. Pokemon Jihad Edition. Nah, I hope not. I hope not because there are Pokemon's fan out there. I hope they can enjoy the game still. It'd be an explosive hit. I find with music once becomes popular, it's no longer cool or hip or whatever. I never had the issue. Either I just don't like the style anymore or something like that. Like I said, I really don't give a lot of shits about people's opinion on the stuff they like also or like now also. Shouldn't matter to you. It shouldn't matter to you that it gets mainstream anything. It shouldn't matter to you. Otherwise, you admit that you have been duped maybe in the past to liking something you actually don't like, or you'd never liked it in the beginning and just pretended to be like this new upcoming underdog trend finder or something like that. Just like what you want. Don't pay too much attention to other people's opinions. Fuck social pressure. Fuck social pressure. Anyhow, how a fan saved his favorite computer game from being completely erased. That's good news in my opinion. So we have a guy who loved the game as a kid, and it got him through difficult times in his life, and he needed it. He wanted it again, but it was gone because it was a Facebook game. Dungeon Rampage. Rampage was a Facebook game that ended almost a decade ago in 2017. That didn't stop one fan from bringing it back and making it available to everyone again. Geek teenager Angelos Mako was a young man on a mission. Almost 10 years since Facebook removed Dungeon Rampage, Mako wanted to bring back the game that was a safe space for him during a rough time in his life. After years of trying to recreate the code, Mako now owns the code and the license, and it'll soon be available on Steam. My parents were going through a very nasty divorce. Dungeon Rampage was there for me. Every time they would fight, I would go into another room and I would play. Escapism. I mean, if it helped him to get just to a rough time as a child. Mako told the PC Gamer, it took care of me when no one else could. Or would, it didn't matter, right? Playing the game every day for 5 years straight, it became part of his young life. Then suddenly the game was removed. That set off his quest. That set off his quest to get it back, even at the age of 10. I couldn't fathom it. I couldn't understand why it happened, he continued. But even from a moment, I said that I'm going to find a way to get this back again. I had no clue how, but I had a dream. I had a dream. A Greek dream. He eventually did some apprenticeship for a Roblox team working on Unity. While he was doing that, 4 years later, he ran across a Discord server that was trying to remake Dungeon Rampage and joined in. He quickly learned they wanted to remake the game instead of restoring the original, but Marco took over the project last year, trying to do more of the latter. I was fed up. I wanted this to come to life, Marco said. Okay, I'm starting from scratch. I'm taking initiative. And I went directly to try and get the copyright of Dungeon Rampage. Using a saved credit screen from the game, he made a LinkedIn. Is it LinkedIn? I never used that platform. LinkedIn account and messaged everyone he could find. People replied. Actually, that's the weird part. One of the first people to react was Jason Young, the game's original creative director. Young agreed to that the attempt to remake Dungeon Rampage was a cool project, but he needed to speak with Mike Goslin, former head of Rebel Entertainment, the original Dungeon Rampage developer. Marco soon spoke to Goslin on the phone, who then introduced him to the CEO of the parent company, and he got his license agreement. Only one problem: nobody seemed to have the original code. Marco tracked down the last engineer on the project, who said he might have the files of the last build on the laptop, something he gave his young daughter to play with. Luckily, the laptop and the files were still intact. It turned out to be a tougher challenge than they expected, because Dungeon Rampage wasn't a simple Flash game. It was Flash and C++ and PHP backend. So we have more like a media. Flash is more like a optical media thing. C++ is just code, pure and simple, just code. And PHP is actually for a web browser made. That's why it has a backend for Facebook. It's like all those things included together. When one part was working fine, others seemed to fall apart. But after several trials and errors, the game finally booted up, with Marco being the first one to play it in 8 years. A Kickstarter campaign was set up and easily crushed its initial $25,000 goal. It's at 66,000 now, and on its final day. The team event got access to the original game's Facebook page as well. That's cool, I guess. I'm not on Facebook really. It's a very fun game, and it's been a very fun game forever, Marco added. Those first days of playing again were the first days of discovering fire as a caveman. That's my best analogy of this. I think it's a nice story, you know. Somebody had a rough childhood, parents divorcing, and they couldn't take care of him. He had nobody else. There was this game who just made everything disappear for a brief moment, you know. I think that is helpful, and he loved it so much that he had a mission, got the original game code, made it happen, work again in today's systems, and got the license, and is going to publish it on Steam. The link is down below if you want to back this project too. You know, you can. It's even higher now. It just keeps going a little bit higher now. $70,000. Good for him, and good for everybody who played this game and liked it. I hope he doesn't put it on Steam with a lot of microtransactions. Fuck that shit. Fuck microtransactions. I don't care either. If I like it, I like it. Yeah. I want to punch Rumble in the dick. About what? Did it stop on your end? Well, Australia is very far away. Last good news, and then we are done for the day, everybody. Speaking of news, all the articles are linked down below every day, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. I'm here for you, for the news, giving you some news you might miss otherwise, I think. Am I wrong? I don't think I'm wrong. The House of Dead 2 remake launches August 7 for Switch and PC, later for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and Xbox One. I love this game. I took just this news because I had this game on Xbox, and I had like a really, really fucking nice light gun back then. It was the best light gun I ever owned. I had a few, but that light gun, I don't remember the brand. It had such a nice force feedback. It was very precise. It was just nice. And we got a remake. One screenshot here. It looks good. How are we gonna play it correctly? I don't know about that, but yeah, there we are, man. We got the remake of a very great game. Yeah. Are you a little bit hyped for this? I'm not hyped, but I'm glad they're remaking this game, and that's the most interesting part for me. On Steam and GOG. GOG, despite them being a faggotry very often, every year, doing the Pride stuff, despite everybody else seems to get away from it, they did it this year again. They're gonna get that House of the Dead 2 remake. I guess you can play it with the mouse, but it's not the same, man. It's not the same like having a light gun with force feedback. It's just a completely different experience. Great game back then. I don't know about this one. We're gonna see. Well, that was pretty much it, though. I hoped you enjoyed the news. The angry game news. My name is Ike. This is Switzerland Play It. You can find me on X, Gab, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Rumble, where I'm having the most viewers out there and the most interaction. But you're free to join any chat out there, you know. I welcome everybody. Let me rephrase. I welcome every real human. And nobody is welcome who wants to sell me shit. I welcome Godzilla's $2 for today, man. Thank you. Much appreciated. We need a way to have light guns and modern hardware. Give me a second. I forgot to include that. I'm going to add that in the links down below. I don't know why I forgot that. Give me 1 second. We have to enhance this experience of the tagging, the angry game news. You can write it down if you want, Godzilla. Here. We loved light gun games. Sinden Shop. Like it's written here. Sinden on the gun itself. Sindenshop.com, Godzilla. You got a new light gun that works with pretty much any screen as long as it's not too curved and shit like that. It's gonna work with any screen. Because this gun, nobody made guns, right? That's the thing. Nobody really made any guns anymore. So somebody took it in their own hands, and we got a new light gun. And as far as I didn't find like technical specs, how it's made and all that. Oh, you're not seeing it. Sorry. No, you're not telling me. Why don't you tell me? Here again. Listen. Sindenshop.com. I'm going to put the link later on down below. So this gun has a little camera inside here. And probably some kind of laser that the camera sees. You don't see it with your eyes, but it's going to track the laser, and it's like a webcam pretty much, I'm pretty sure. And it seems to work pretty well as long as the surface is as flat as possible. Like the more curved it is, the more you have to be in the perfect center to not distract like the beam too much. To being like reflected back at the correct angle to you. If it's a flat screen, you're going to be happy, I'm pretty sure. But there you have it, light gun with force feedback or without force feedback. They have all kinds of versions. They have the bundles. They have even with the foot reload thingy. Go take a look. Sindenshop.com. Other than that, I don't see any other reason why not to get one of them. And they are not like super expensive without feedback, without the recoil. 90 Swiss francs, that's about $100. And 150 Swiss francs, which is about 170-ish US dollars. You can get it in bundles. You can get it with the pedal and all that. So somebody wanted light guns too. That's all I'm gonna say. Get a black eye for next time, or an eye patch. Why do you wish me a black eye? I've only got a few things of GOG, but they spam my email all the time. Well, disable the newsletter. What can I say, Eden? Okay, everybody, thank you for being around. I hope you appreciated the news. I hope you liked the news. I hope I'm going to see you again when I'm going to stream. Maybe today with games. Probably not today. But tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, as usual. Bye, everybody. Sorry, you're not included because I had to move around profiles of OBS and my, sorry. Sorry, Godzilla, sorry, Watch My Junk, you're not in the credits there. Sorry, Eden, sorry, John Thunder. But I appreciate all of you. You know that.